everyone, my name is Desola. I'm a fashion designer and you are welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Daisy's Wardrobe. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're an existing subscriber, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. And if you've seen my videos before and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so and put on the notification bell so that you know when I put up a new video. I'm an African-inspired ready-to-wear fashion designer based here in Lagos, Nigeria, and I've been in business for over 10 years. So here on my channel, I talk about being a fashion designer, starting a clothing brand, starting a fashion business, all things business, all things fashion, and sometimes, once in a while, I talk about my life. So here in today's video, I'll be talking about how to start a clothing brand in Nigeria. So like I said, I'm an African-inspired ready-to-wear fashion designer. I make my designs and I sell my designs right here in my store, and that's what I've done for over 10 years. And I own a ready-to-wear female clothing brand called Daisy's Wardrobe. So if you're looking to start a clothing brand in Nigeria and you're wondering how to navigate this clothing brand that you want to start, this may be a video for you. And likewise, other videos on my channel. But in this video today, we're talking solely about how to start a clothing business in Nigeria. So first things first, you want to start a clothing business. You begin to think in your mind that what kind of clothing business do I want to start? Do you even have an idea of what it is that you want to sell? What kind of clothing that you want to sell? Because there are different kinds of clothing out there. So the clothes that you want to sell or the clothing brand that you want to start, is it for men? Is the brand for women? Is the brand for young adults? Or is it for children? You need to figure it out. When you know what this is, the next thing to do is come up with a name for your brand. Now, a brand, it's very nice when you use your name to start a business or start a brand. And because everybody calls you a certain name, maybe Chum Chum, and you say, my brand is called Chum Chum. There comes a time where your brand may grow, your brand may become very big, and the name just doesn't stick. The name is not doing it anymore. Then you now have to start contending with the issue of rebranding, changing the name, getting people to start knowing what the new name is and things like that. You don't want to go through that headache, because by the time your business progresses to that level, the list of your problems will be rebranding or changing the name of your brand. So it's best to do it at the beginning. Do it and do it very, very well. Pick a name for your brand that resonates with what your brand stands for, that resonates with you, resonates with what your brand is all about. Something that, that is nice, that is out there, that is, people can easily remember, not dum dum. In that way, as the brand grows over time, the name is able to grow with the brand and remain within the brand, not exchange for something else. Once you've come to figure that out, then you have to now start to think about having this brand registered. And when I say registered, I mean registered properly. But before you even say, okay, I want to register this thing properly, you also have to go on social media to lock in a name for your brand. Because why am I saying social media? In this day and age, social media is very important. Social media is everything. Social media is literally everything. Everybody is on social media. Everything is on social media. God is on social media. The devil is on social media. Everything is literally on social media. So you want to find out if this name that you have for your brand exists for you to lock down on social media as a brand name. When I first started my business, that was one of the first things that I did. Then you now say, okay, let me register the business properly, get my registration documents sorted for my business. It's very, very, very important, extremely important. I have videos on my channel where I talk about what why it is very important to register your business and get all the documentation sorted out legally and officially. Then you need to go on and do some market research. You need to identify your market, you need to identify your customers. So what do I mean by identifying your market, identifying your customers? So initially you figured out, what kind of clothes do I want to make? Is it for men, women, children? You know what that is all about. If you have decided to enter into the female market, you know, the kind of clothes that you're selling, what kind of clothes are they? Are they casual? Are they corporate? Are they bridal? Are they workwear? Anything, literally. You need to figure out who your customers are. When you figure out who your customers are, you're able to figure out certain things about your customers. Then you can know how to market to these people. When you know your customers, it makes a lot of things easy. A lot of people start clothing brands and they don't know who their customers are. They don't know who they are going to market to. A lot of people start clothing brands and the thing on their mind is that I want to sell to rich people. I want to sell to people that have money. I want to sell to people that will give me, X, Y, and Z amount of money for whatever it is that I'm selling. The honest truth is that if you don't know your market, if you don't know who your customers are, if your ideal customers are, if you don't know them, it will be difficult for you to market your business, or it will be difficult for you to market your clothing brand. You may be selling, let's say what you sell for your clothing brand is two-piece clothing, and you may just find someone who has a whole lot of money, and you market this your two-piece clothing to them, that your brand is all about two-piece clothing, your brand is all about two-piece clothing, this two-piece clothing, that two-piece clothing. But you know what? They will never buy from you. As much as they have, and as rich or as abundant as they are financially, they will never buy from you because they don't care about two-piece clothing. They don't care about... So let me give you a perfect example. I sell African print clothing. There are some people that no matter how much money they have, they will never buy from me. Never, never, ever. Because they don't like African print. They don't have any business with African print. Everybody's preferences are different. So you need to have that in mind. So when you want to start this clothing brand, you need to look at the financial aspects. What do you have? What are you looking for? How much is it going to cost you? You need to figure that out. Because honestly, you can start a brand, like they say here on the YouTube, without having any money. Okay, fine. But if you want to start something that is a business that is sustainable, you need some amount of money, no matter how little it is. So whatever it's going to cost you to start that brand, you need to have some projections and see if you have that money to start, or if you're going to source for funds in other ways. Then you need to think about mode of transaction. How are you going to transact business with your customers? How are you going to sell these clothes? Your clothing brand, how are you going to communicate with your customers and make them see what you are selling and buy from your brand? How do you intend to do it? There are several ways. You can sell online or you can sell physically. Both options, there's nothing wrong with both options. They both have their pros and their cons. Because we live in a country, Nigeria, starting a clothing brand online can sometimes be very tricky if you don't go about it the proper way. And why do I say that? A lot of people are very skeptical about buying things online because I don't need to go into all that. We live in Nigeria, and I'm sure the Nigerians watching this video, you understand what I'm talking about. But I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but what I'm saying is they both have their pros and their cons. And if you choose to go in the physical route, you also have to remember that starting a clothing brand in Nigeria physically would involve some cost. If you're starting in Nigeria physically by owning a physical store or a retail store, because you have to bear in mind that wherever you are in this country called Nigeria, the cost of renting a space, depending on where you are, is not always particularly very affordable. So it involves some form of investment, but it's all up to you. You need to look into it very well and then decide on which works for you. And if you decide to do both, which is good, you also have to go about it very, very carefully. So when it comes to starting your clothing brand in Nigeria, you have to start thinking of your clothing brand. Are these clothes that you are going to buy wholesale? Are they clothes that you're going to manufacture yourself? Whatever the case may be, you need to start looking at how to make that possible for your clothing brand. Because out of everything we've spoken about, or out of everything I've spoken about in this video, manufacturing clothes for your clothing brand is the most important. You can have an online space or a physical space and you don't have anybody manufacturing good clothes for you, you're wasting your time. You may have a brand that everybody knows about on social media and you don't have your manufacturing or your wholesale supplier, properly positioned for your brand or your business, you're wasting your time again. So this is very, very, very important. And lastly, when you want to start a clothing brand in Nigeria, after you have thought about, considered and done everything that I have spoken about in this video, you now have to think of how you're going to market your clothing brand. Having a very good marketing strategy for your clothing brand. That is very, 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 very important, extremely important, because marketing for any business is very important. Really, really important. So if you're looking to start a clothing brand in Nigeria, I hope this video was helpful. I hope you're able to learn a thing or two from this video. And I wish you all the best as you start your clothing brand. So my video for today is done. If you enjoyed watching my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and put on the notification bell so that you know when I put up a new video. And so I will see you soon. Bye.